Okay, so good afternoon again. So can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the code for the exercise number 5. Okay. So again, here's the condition. So if this is true, then this will be executed. However, if this is false, then it will fall on this false statement. Okay. All right. So let's now move on to the exercise number 6. Let me just open that one. Okay, so let's run the program. Okay, so in here, if the product between temp 1 and temp 2 exceeds 2.5 degrees, calculate error as temp 1 minus temp 2 times factor. So in here, if this is true, uh, it exceeds 2.5 degrees, then this will be executed. So in here, let's say 2 times 2, or let's just say 2 times 3. Okay, because it will give us a result of 0. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that one is greater than 2.5. So it exceeds 2.5 degrees. So this will be executed. So calculate error as temp 1 minus temp 2 times factor. So 2 minus 3, okay, is negative 1 times factor. So for you to be able to get the factor is you need to get the multiply the result of this temp 1 and temp 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. So yeah, that's how this formula or algorithm works in here. So just by simply follow this one. So even though it's nonsense, so in here it's your analysis is being practiced. Okay. But if it didn't exceed, let's say 1 times 2, so 1 times 2 is 2, it didn't exceed this 1, so it will, I guess it will do nothing, or it will display 0, okay? So yeah, that's how this one works. So in my case, I guess I put there 0 for the false statement. That is why it showed there 0. So yeah, there you go. For the false statement, I displayed here 0. That's why we received 0 when this one became false. But if this is true, here's the logic for that one. So temp minus temp 2 times temp 1 times temp 2. Alright, so did you guys get the idea so far? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's a good sign. Let's now move on to the exercise number 7. So if x is greater than y and z is less than 20, display the value of num using message box. So again, just a random formula testing our analysis. All right, so let's see. So if x is greater than y, okay, let's say 5 is greater than 3, of course, and z is less than 20, so let's say 10 is less than 20. If this is true, then display the value of num using message box. So the value of num is right here. You're the one who's going to put any value, let's say 50. Okay. So if this is true, then it will display the value of num. So in here, there you go. It's now being displayed on the message box. However, if this is false, let's say 2 is greater than 3, it will give us a false condition saying that false statement saying that the condition were not met. Okay, so it will only display this num right here if the condition were met. So how did I do that one? So I just simply follow the formula or the algorithm. If x is greater than y and z is less than 20, then we'll display the value of num. Else, if this is not true, then this will be displayed. The condition were not met. Okay, so did you guys get the idea of this one so far? So I highly encourage you guys to recreate these projects, these sample projects right here, and then make some changes. Play with the code. Okay. So with that, you'll be able to appreciate more the things that we're working. So start with an existing project, copy and paste it, try to do some changes, and then if the changes that you wanted to see is really happening, then congrats. But if you're receiving an error, so let's say you've accidentally removed the letter B right here, and then you're trying to uh, start the program. Uh, well, in here, it will actually give you the previous working program. Okay, but if it's still blank, then no recent working program, then it will give you an error. Like for example, uh, there's a lot of doesn't want to display the X right here. So it will display a lot of errors right here saying that there is no end sub or end sub expected, end statement is not valid. So there you go, knowing that you've just accidentally deleted the letter B for the end sub. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the exercise number 7. So let's now move on to the sample problem number 7. So in here, write a program that allows the user to input an integer if the value is greater than or equal to 0. Actually, we have already created this one on the first example right here for the positive. So in here, we're just displaying positive, but if it's negative, it's not doing anything. But in here, if it's now negative, then you should now uh, give an output. Like for example, this one. Okay, so I will not show this one to you guys anymore since this one is super straightforward. You can always recreate this one on your own. So just three components: a label, text box, and then a button. And then for the sample problem number 8, okay, so I will not read this one anymore. I'll leave the reading part to you guys. Let's move on to the example, okay, on what is really happening. So in here, this is a telephone company or a telco company to be exact, or the SFT company. Yeah, telecom, sending failed telecoms. So they have a promo wherein the first 100 is free. Okay, and then once you exceeded say more than 100, each text is now charged 50 centavos. So as you guys can see right here, he exceeded 50 text messages. So 50 times 0.25, no, 0.50 times 0.50 will give us a result of 25 pesos. Okay, but right now, each text is one PHP. So this is already 50 pesos nowadays. Unlike before, it's around 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, but right now it's 1 peso. Okay, so here's the code. I declared two variables, one for short, and then bill for single. And then we've used end text. That is the one that we're going to place our inputs for the text right here, text box one. And that is the one that we're going to compare. So if end text is greater than 100, then this will be executed. If this is false, then the bill is 0, meaning it's still less than 100. Okay, and then whatever is the result of your bill right here will be formatted into a currency. Okay, so currency right here will give you a PHP sign, and at the same time it will give you two decimals only. All right, so I did discuss this one on the uh, module 7 tutorials, the 3 hour and 45-minute video. So make sure to check that one, okay, when it comes to format. Okay, so that's it for this sample problem number 8. And then for the sample problem number 9, so this is another company TNP, wherein it is asking you to create a program. So it's divided by or divided into three uh, charging. So in here for the first charge, so 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute, and that is during weekdays between 6 a.m. to 6:59 p.m. Okay, you'll be charged 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute. And then the second condition is you will be charged 5 pesos, still weekday. However, this one now will, where's that one? Charges made other times. Okay, so in here, other times, but still weekday. So it will only, say, be affected if it's already 7 o'clock p.m. to 5:59 a.m. So that's the meaning of other times right here. So basically night time, so 7 to 5:59 a.m. until morning of 5:59, you'll be charged 5 pesos. And then anytime on weekend, okay, you will be charged 3 pesos. Okay, so that's basically the idea on how to create this program. So here are the things that you need to know, or the things that you need to use. So you're going to use daytime picker for the month, for the date, the same, another date time picker for the time, okay? And then in here, integer percent representing the duration of the call in minutes. So we have this condition: if you have a duration of 2 minutes and 35 seconds, it is already considered as a 3-minute call, okay? So the same with 2 minutes and 1 second, that's already considered as a 3-minute call. All right. So without further delay, let's move on with the project, maybe the program. So here's the sample interface of the program. So let me open my sample problem number 9. Oops. Number 9. Okay. And let's start the program. So let's choose a day. Let's say Tuesday. So that's a weekday. So it doesn't matter what month it is, doesn't matter what year it is. What our only concern is if it's weekday and weekend. Second is it during daytime or nighttime? So let's say daytime for now. Say 8:46 a.m. Okay, and then how many minutes is the duration of your call? Let's say 5 minutes. So during daytime, okay, right here, daytime will be charged 7 pesos and 50 centavos. So 750 times 5 will give us a result of 35, I guess. 37. Yeah, around 37. So yeah, there you go. 37 and 50 centavos. Okay, if it's 10, then we expect 375. Ah, why 75? Why 375? It's 75 pesos because it's 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute. Okay. And what about if it's nighttime? Okay, let's change this one into PM. So this one will become 50 pesos because during nighttime it's 5 pesos. Okay, there you go. And then during weekends, let's say Saturday, okay, and then we have 10-minute call. So no matter what is the time, so anytime, as long as it's weekend, so you'll be charged 3 pesos per minute. So 3 times 10 is 30. Okay. So there you go. You now have a working program for this condition and then statements right here. All right. So are we clear so far? Did you? I'm not expecting you guys to know, to understand this one completely. Just at least you've got the idea. Okay. And then for the code, okay. So the only one that we need to program is the compute button. Okay. So this is where we declared all of our variables, and then our prices. So week regular call is 7.5. So we have already equate them into their equivalent prices, so that once we call this variable right here, they already have their existing values. And then we have here the date time picker for the day of week, and then another date time picker for the hours. And then we have here the input for the text box one will be passed on I duration. And then for the, here's now the comparison. Is it weekdays? Is it weekend? And then here's for the, is it daytime? Is it nighttime? And then the statements that will be executed. Okay. So yeah, you don't need to worry about this one. Okay, just focus in this one, private sub uh, button one. Okay. Anyway, we also have that one right here. Okay, which is the same. So if you have an error, you can message me, or actually you can deal with it. Okay, since this one is just the name of this one, DTP date is just the name of the date time picker. It's just have a different variable name. So just change that one into whatever is the name of your date time picker, then you're good to go. All right. So moving on to the next one, we have here another if statement, okay, which is the most complete form of the if else statement. So we have here the true condition, another true condition, okay, and then the false statement. So in here you can actually put as many true condition as you want. Okay, so if this is true, this will be executed. If this is true, this will be executed. If none of those were true, then it will always fall on this false statement right here. So to give you guys an idea, let's have this example. So again, if this is true, this will be executed. If this is true, this will be executed. And then one more thing, there is no way that there is two condition that will be will be true and will be executed at the same time. Because if you will do that one, then you're just having a duplicate condition and then duplicate statements. The reason why you're putting here another condition, because this condition is different from your previous condition. Then of course you also have different statements right here, and then a different statement right here. So again, if none of those were true, you will fall on this else statement right here. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting the idea. So for you to be able to appreciate this one, let's have this sample problem number 11. So let me just open that project number 11. All right, so in here, let me start the project. So basically, it's very straightforward. I'll just input the name of the shape, and then it will give us the number of sides of that shape. So let's say circle. So circle doesn't have any sides. So of course, we're expecting to see a 0 right here, okay, which is true. However, if we put here, let's say circles, uh, it will give us let's say another output result, invalid inputted shape, because in our program it will only accept the word CIRCLE. It will not accept CIRCLES. So that's a different, or those two words are different with each other. Okay, so that is the reason why circles is not a valid shape. So if we have square, then it will give us 4. If it's rectangle, still 4. If it's hexagon, will give us 6. Nonagon will give us 9. Okay, so in here we are also being limited on how many shapes you've included in your program. So you can have up to 50 sides, number of sides, but of course you have to indicate it on your if condition. So as you guys can see, you only have up to dodecagon, which is up to 12 sides. So if I will put here the next word, I don't know how they call the 13 sides of shapes, but let's say duodecagon. I don't know if it's 13. Yeah, it will show as invalid inputted shape because it's not part of our program anymore. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it on the idea. Why is this doesn't want to be? Yeah, there you go. Let me just close that one so that you guys can see everything. Okay, so did you guys get the idea so far of this example right here? Okay, so the code can be also found right here. Okay, so in here it's just limited up to 10, but you can extend more. Okay, so else shape and then the name and then how many number of sites. So just try to experiment. Experience is always the best teacher. So in here we have another sample problem number 11, but just a different approach. So in here, we are going to use a ready button, okay, instead of putting the names of that shape. So in here, I have a existing number 11b. Okay, so let me show this one to you guys. So just a different arrangement, but both of them are the same functionality. So for square, of course, we expect to have 4. For pentagon, 5. Duodecagon is 12. One decagon is 11. Decagon is 10, etc. etc. Okay, so in here we cannot find any shapes other than what's in here. Okay, that's a good thing if you have choices. And like if you're going to put a word, of course, you have to be correct with your spelling. Okay, and then you're not sure if that word even exists. So yeah, and then for the code, basically it's the same concept. It's just that in here, if read button wanna check is true, so if it's being checked, then it will display this one. Okay, so the same with the other radio buttons. Okay, so it will give us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 number of sides. So are we clear so far regarding with this one? Okay, so again, you can always check the code right here. So you can copy that one, paste. So in here, you have to recreate the RB4 up to RB9. Okay, because it won't fit the this slide anymore, or this space right here. All right. So for the sample problem number 12, uh, in here it's basically about bingo. So in here you were hired by Parkour as part of a programming team in charge of automating its bingo game. So your task is to write a program that will accept an integer whose value is 1 to 75. So your program should determine and print the letter that corresponds to that number. So numbers from 1 to 15 correspond to letter B, 16 to 30 is I, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you're playing a bingo, probably you already know the range of letter B, the range of I, the range of N, and so on and so forth. And here's the expected output. So we have two labels, one numeric up and down, and then one text box right here. So in here, we're going to use numeric up down. So numeric up down is the same with the text box. You can put the number here manually using your keyboard. But in here, we have up and down buttons. So in here, it's just a incrementing and then decrementing. So if I click up button, it will increment by 1. If I click down, it will decrement by 1. So that's basically the functionality of numeric up down. So let me just show this one to you guys. Number 12. Oops. Okay, so let's start the program. Okay, so in here, select number 0. So if I increment this one by 1, it will show us letter B, give us letter B, up to 15. Okay, but once it reach 16, then it will now change into letter I. Okay, and so on and so forth until you will reach the letter O. Okay, so once you exceeded the number, let's say up to 75, uh, there is an error. Okay, will give us not within the range of bingo numbers. So I am also the one who created that part of the project or part of the program. So let me show to you guys the code. So we have num as our integer, and then whatever is the value of numeric up down will be passed onto num. So here's now where the comparison is being done. So 1 to 15 is letter B, 16 to 30 is I, and so on and so forth. Else, if it's not within the range from 1 to 75, it will fall on this not within the range of bingo numbers. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it for this example. So did you guys get the idea? Well, you can find the solution in here, which is just the same. Okay, however, I just added another code right here, which is this one, wherein it will catch the error. Well, not actually catching the error, but just reminding you that you're not within the range anymore. All right, so are we clear so far? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so maybe at least half of you were able to get this one. All right, so we'll stop here for now. We'll just continue on this part next meeting this coming Friday. Okay, so I just would like to remind you guys that I have already published. All right, so we're almost done with week number 4, which is your lab number 7 and 8, and first quiz and second quiz. So again, the due date of this one is June 11. June 2, okay, that's today for the case study number 5. So make sure to finish this one today. And for the week number 5, so we have just started this module 8 today. And I just, publish this third quiz and fourth quiz, which we have discussed a while ago. And then for the fifth quiz, you can just do this one once we're done in discussing the remaining part of this module 8 right here. Okay, but for the case study number 6, you can now start answering this one. Well, you have plenty of time. The due date of this one is June 16. And I am now also publishing the last week, okay, which is the module 9, and then the supporting application or the sample application for your sample laboratory number 9. Okay, so I have created here a mini pizza ordering sample. This is an application also, so feel free to check this one out. And you can find the code in here on the mini pizza ordering RAR. So just download and extract this one, and then you will find the code on how I created the program, okay, of that mini pizza ordering. And yeah, again, this will be your last laboratory 9 and 10. And after that, of course, your final examination. So we still have one quiz. So quiz number 6. Okay, for this module right here. Anyway, that will be next week once we're done with this module 9 right here. All right, so yeah, that's it for now. And if you guys have a question in the future, so I'm always checking my inbox. So just make sure to, message me as soon as possible. Okay, the earlier the better. All right. So yeah, that's the only thing that I want to share. Do you guys have clarification or questions so far? So I guess none. So if there is no more question, so just give me a thumbs up and you may now go. Okay, so goodbye and thank you too for coming. So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Okay,
Bye, sir.
goodbye too.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye,
too.
sir.
Goodbye too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you then. Okay, goodbye. Okay, right, right. All right. So do you have a question, Miss Hanilet Marquez? All right. So I guess then. So goodbye, Miss Hanilet.